Okay, and coming back to the paddy fields days, school days, younger age, um, most of the Indian kids or maybe the people who is living in that kind of a community or in an environment. After schools, coming back, then getting onto the fields or maybe playing with the friends. Could you please share something on?
See, for me, education, I just had my 10 plus, the matriculation, SSLC, I just passed, just 210, with just pass mark. Then I went to a parallel college to do my PDC.
Okay.
And I passed, successfully completed, in other words. And then, even at the very young age, I would say, let's say when you're a toddler or maybe a teenager, my passion was to be a lawyer and a politician.
Okay.
And I realized upon completion of my 10 plus 2, this is not going to happen in my life. Because I'm from a very, poor family or with lesser resources, working class family. So I realized that it is not going to happen. So I kept all my passion and dreams in the attic and went to work.
Okay.
I was tea making at completing my 10 plus 2. I went to a local restaurant. I was working for 10 pounds a day. I mean, not pounds, 10 rupees a day to making teas.
Okay.
Then I used to do, the mill, on those days, the milkman.
Okay.
You have a can, you put milk in it, and then you supply milk around the houses.
Okay.
On those days we had that. I don't think
that's
we
true.
have that.
Yeah.
So, and then, that kind of, even I went to...
That's more interesting to go with the personal story of that. We will come to that as you are in the chamber at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll come back to you for that personal chat. As a mayor, in Cambridge, you are the first mayor from a different culture or maybe from a different background, an Indian or an Asian person who is sitting in the mayor's chamber. So, what was the how do you do that? I mean, how did you reach to that position?
Now look, this was not, or this is not, an easy task. Especially someone like me with that background. I'm not someone who, fed with golden spoons. I am someone who worked tirelessly and with a commitment and a passion. It was my ambition to be a successful politician. Whether I am successful or not, I let people to decide. But as long as my first part of the ambition, being a lawyer, being a politician, I have accomplished. Whether I was successful or not, time will only tell you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I as you asked me the process. It was not at all an easy task. Look, I'm a migrant worker in this country. Even still.
Yeah.
My wife, she's a nurse. We migrated to this country. She migrated first.
Okay.
And then I followed her. Then I was working in care homes.
Okay.
And then, we have 2 kids.
Okay.
Then, down the line, I was not happy.
That's something which normally any migrant will do.
Will do, yeah.
Yeah.
They continue with work. They continue with work.
That's what normally everybody do.
So
where's the turn? Where's the turn?
The turning point was something happened to me in my personal life, which I don't want to disclose. I was upset, and I was a bit, traumatized. Kind of gone through a different, a completely different stage. I had gone through a very difficult path. Then I was stressful, so I just wanted to come out from that. So what I did, I went to Cambridge Regional College to study politics, sociology, and English language.
So from carer to a student.
KRS back to back to square one. Back to square one. Then I came to regional college and I did my LLB from Anglo-Ruskin University, Cambridge. Then I did my masters in University of East Anglia in Norwich.
That means we say LLM.
LLM, yeah. So then it's PG. We call it PG.
PG, post graduation.
So and then I did my. Unlike in India, if you have an LLB, you straight away won't be a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go through some very stringent process.
Okay.
I had to do LPC legal practitioner course. I completed it. Then I had 2 years of like training solicitorship.
Okay.
Then I have become a solicitor.
Okay.
That was if you ask me what was the triggering, I would say it was my, number one, my passion was always there.
Okay.
But the issue what I was facing, look, whether you will be able to do it, you get 2 kids, wife is working full time.
Yeah.
When I even at that time I was working as a care assistant part time.
Whatever I have gone through, I have seen is people are working as a care assistant, and wife is working as a nurse in a hospital. They will not be having enough time to look after 2 kids and managing their day-to-day things, and you decided to go as a student. So how did you manage that part?
Come on, it was struggle. Even I'm sure, like my kids, even like whenever they have holidays, I'll be having exams.
Oh, okay.
And then even they too have struggled. My little children, and of course my wife. So I remember once my daughter was literally crying, and Daddy, whenever we have holidays, you're sitting and writing your assignments and your exams. When this is going to end? But I was in tears when I heard that.
Yeah.
But even then she said, "Okay, Daddy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that." But then, see, I always take them out.
Yeah, obviously they'll be lacking of the love and care of a dad.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm always. See, I tell you, I used to. Well, my second son, he is 18 now. He's going to be a lawyer now. He'll understand.
Oh, okay.
So when he was 3 or 4, I put him in my shoulder and kept my legal textbook open. And now instead of the songs I used to read from the book, if there is a crime, there should be actors here and mens here. I'm actually reading from the book, and that
must be feeding to him. Actually.
Yes, I think that might have helped. He said he wanted to be a lawyer, and he's going to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So it is there. We all struggle.
Good. Having said that, you would like to go back to India, and you have already been registered with the council over there, and you started bar council over there, and you have already started with the Supreme Court of India. What is that gives as a message to an immigrant over here? So, having been, you said it's more than 20 years you are here, and you'll be going back to India, and would like to stay there and to practice over there. Is that a good message to an immigrant?
My answer, my straightforward answer is yes.
Okay.
The reason being, we left everything behind, especially we, the first generation immigrants.
Okay.
If you ask me, do we have enough resources back home in India for all of us to live the way we live in England? My answer to the question is yes, but this has not been used properly. If prove me wrong. If I am wrong, why a section of the society always have the high-profile education in either Britain or in US, and why people like you and I can't have that luxury? The Constitution of India, which gives you and I, and all those people, the equal opportunities.
That's true, yeah.
Pandit Nehru, the Constituent Assembly said this: the Constitution of India, which gives guarantee to all citizens of this country to progress in life. All citizens of India will get the freedom and right to progress in life equally.
Yeah.
Why you and I are here, and why those people are around the world having all the luxurious opportunities, and why that's what happened. Look, I have an example. I am someone who came to this country after completing 10 plus 2.
Okay.
And look where I am sitting now. Here in this country, whatever there could be so many problems, so many things to say, that they didn't do this, they didn't do that. But it gives you, it guarantees the equal opportunity. Of course, you have to face so many things in life. You have to fight. You as an immigrant, you have a lot to face.
Yeah.
You have a lot to challenge. And every walk of life, you're challenging. That is there. Apart from that, this country gives an opportunity for you and I treat them equally. If not, challenge them in court.
Okay.
Our home country requires people like Ambedkar, who changed everything, who had a vision. Look, how many years we've been facing untouchability in India?
Yeah.
From Vedic years, like from Law of Manu. Ambedkar, through Constitution of India, he finished it.
Okay.
At least for books.
Yeah.
At least in books.
Yeah.
We
have something in written.
He has something in written.
Yeah.
Which revolution? That is the revolution.
Yeah.
How many people in India were fighting against it, and from just imagine now, from how many years?
Yeah.
How many decades? Maybe centuries. He had a vision because he is someone who had gone through this.
Okay.
He knows the understanding, the feeling. And we need people in India like him to come to the power and make policies which will change India.
Okay. Do you think this gives a message or a positive message to those people, those immigrants who are in UK at the moment, who have invested their life, their money for their kids' education, and they have invested in business and many other things. They are working over here. So, how do they look at this?
No, are you asking about the immigrant students coming over?
Immigrant students coming over and the family who is living over here, their investment, their time, their money, everything they are investing.
No, the immigrant students coming, you mean the students are coming alone, they are not coming with the family?
Yeah.
So are you talking about the students, or are you people like you and I living here?
That is two separate things. One, the students which is coming with the immigration policies recently coming up with the visa changes and all. Do we have a say on that?
No, see, come on, the question is, look at the economy. And I have said this in many interviews. If you are coming over to study and invest a huge amount of money, do a proper research. Don't fall into the trap of these scrupulous travel agents and consulting agencies. Don't fall into the trap.
Taking bank loans and
I just day in and day out, I handle this kind of issues as a lawyer, not as a mere capacity, as a lawyer. They see what the whole family is owned, what they taught, the whole asset of a family could be a piece of land with a house. What these people are advising them, go and pledge the whole asset of the whole family.
Yeah.
And pledge a loan and get a loan,
yeah,
and migrate to Britain,
yeah,
or Canada,
yeah,
or Australia.
Yeah.
The question what you need to ask yourself, whatever the course you are going to come over to study, would that give you a space to stand?
Okay.
Or are you just coming for 1 year and you are relying on the advice of the consultant or the agent that you can find a way after 1 year.
It's kind of a fluke.
Exactly. So even I know people, and I even have voice clips in my phone. A travel consulting agent advised a student to work illegally in India. We cannot blame any British authorities for that.
Yeah, that's true.
It has to be done back home.
Yeah.
Their job. Just put behind all these criminals.
Under the bar, yeah. Recent BBC reports also says the
they took an interview. I gave them an interview.
Yeah.
BBC.
Back to the mayor's chamber. What's a normal day-to-day activities of a mayor?
So, no, this is not like day-to-day activity. Basically, what you have a week diary.
Okay.
So I don't come every day here.
Okay.
Because I have to work as well.
Yeah.
So whenever I have business here, I'll come and I'll see people.
Okay.
And I'm the mayor is the one who is representing the city.
Okay.
So what my agenda would be visiting people, attending events, representing city.
Okay.
Like I have been to Castelluccia, Majure, and visiting another, the other counties.
Okay.
And I think in May, I think I'm being invited to the King's Garden Party.
Okay.
So I represent the city
Okay.
everywhere.